Chapter 8.2, the basic percent equation. Okay, the basic percent equation, in this case, okay, we will write an equation based on percent and the base. Okay, so for example, okay, what percent of the region below is shaded? So the shaded is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 shaded squares, and then the total number of squares are 4 times 10 is 40, right? 40. So the total number of squares is 40. So among these 40 squares, the shaded squares are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 6. So 6 over 40 is the number of squares, shaded. Then what is the percent of this one? So the percent will be, convert this one into percent, right? So you can simplify first, or you can divide it. Okay, if you simplify, then there will be divided by 2, so 3 over 20, right? 3 over 20. So 3 over 20 is, what percent is this? So 3 divided by 20, so that is 0.15, right? So 0.15 is equal to 15%. So can you see? So in this case, what you do is just simplify. Write a fraction. Write a fraction so that 6 out of 40. Because 6 out of 40 is the percentage of the shaded squares in this in this 40 squares, out of these 40 squares. Okay, or you can multiply these 6 shaded squares out of 40 by, we want to convert this one to a percentage, so you can multiply this by 100%. Right, 100%. Then there will be 600 out of 40%. So 600 divided by 40 is 15, right? So 15%, still same thing. Okay, so this is an example, and then here is another example. Okay, from these 40 squares, okay, how many squares should be shaded if we want to shade 7.5% of the region above? So which means, okay, look at this. Okay, the total number of squares is 40, right? 40. So in other words, 7.5% of the region means 7.5% of 40, right? 40. This is important. So the total number is 40. So out of 40, what is the 7.5% of this 40? Then that should be the number of shaded squares, right? So you can write it something like this. So since we have this means 7.5% of 40 is equal to what? One number. So I don't know what number, so that should be n, right? N. So let's calculate this one. So 7.5% can be written as 0.075, right? Multiplied by 40. So that's the number n, isn't it? That's the number n. Then multiply these two numbers, then there will be 0.3, right? 0.3. Of course, n. Is it 0.3 or 3? Okay, then it should be this 40, right? 40. So that is 3, sorry. It should be 3. So the number of shaded squares is 3. The number of shaded squares is 3. So if you shade 3, then it will be the 7.5% of the region is shaded. So look at this. This is a really, really important concept. We need to write an equation. Okay, we need to answer this type of questions, we need to write an equation. And then when you write an equation, replace this off. Replace the off, so translate off So of should be translated. Translates. Of is of translates to what? Dot, right? Dot times. And is translates to what? Equal sign. And what should be translated to what? Unknown variable n. Make sense? So something like this. Get like a 7.5% of 40. 7.5% of 40 is the number of shaded squares. So that's the amount. So PBA, we can say PBA. PB equals A. PB equals A. So percentage, so percent of the base. Of the base. The percentage is from the base. So base times the percentage, or percentage times the base should be the amount of the percentage. Because this is a really, really important information. So in that case, there are three variables: P, percent, B, base, and amount. So whenever two values of two variables are given, then you can find the value of the other variable. Since there are three unknown variables, if two variables are known, then you can find the value of the unknown variable. Okay, this one comes later. So we will have more examples related to this one later after this. Okay, let's consider this one. Okay, write each percent as a decimal, as a fraction. So in this case, 33 and 1/3. 33 and 1/3. 1/3 is 0.33323, right? So it is hard to write in decimal. So let's write this one as a fraction. So first we need to convert this mixed number into improper fraction. So 33 times 3 is 99 plus the numerator 1 is 100. So this is equal to 100 out of 3, right? Percent. Then you can replace this percent with what? We want to write in fraction, so replace 100 with what? 100. 1 over 100. Then you can reduce, so it will be 1/3. So this percent is equivalent to 1/3. Let's try next one. 66 and 2/3. Okay, so improper fraction is 66 times 3 is 198 plus 2. So that is 200 over 3%. And then replace the percent with the fraction 1 over 100. And then reduce 100. So that will be 2/3. It makes sense, right? It makes sense. 2/3 is 66.3333%. Okay, now 16 and 2/3%. So multiply 16 by 3, then 48 plus 2 is 50. 50 out of 3%. Also, replace percent with 1 over 100. Then reduce it, so 1 over 1, 2, so 6, right? 6. 1/6. Alright, the next one. 83 and 1/3. So multiply 83 by 3 is 250, isn't it? 250 over 3. So 249 plus 1 is 150%. And then also replace the percent with a fraction 1 over 100. Then reduce it, so this becomes 2, this becomes 5, right? 5. The bottom is 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, simple, isn't it? So this one is simple. So always keep in mind that when you change a percent to a fraction, replace this percent with 1 over 100. And if we have an improper fraction, mixed number, then change it to improper fraction. And then simplify. Okay, here's another example. Okay, you correctly answer 96 questions out of 120 questions on an exam. What percent of the questions did you answer correctly? So look at this. 96 of 120 questions. So you answered 90 questions correctly out of 112 questions, right? And the question is this one. What percent of the questions? So the what percent is the percentage, right? This is the percent. Of means multiply, right? Multiply the questions. This is the base, right? Did you answer correctly? So did you answer correctly? So that is the number of questions you got correctly. This is the amount, right? Amount. So isn't it percent times base equals amount, PBA? So that is PBA, isn't it? PBA. Percent times base is equal to amount. So PBA is an equation, but this is an obvious equation. Obvious because what percent of equation means multiply percent and the equation. So what percent, we don't know this one, so let's make it and, right? Let's make this one and the base is the total number. How many questions? 120, right? 120. So that should be equal to, what's the amount? This amount is 96 questions. You answered correctly, 96. So this is the equation. So from this equation, what you need to do is what? Find the value n, right? Value n. N represents the percent. So you have to write the answer in percent. So there are three variables, percent, base, amount. In this example, base and the amount values are given so that you can find the value of the percent. And then divide each side by, divide each side by what? 120, right? 120. Then n is equal to, this is 0.8. Now n is the percent, right? Percent. So 0.8. So what is the percent for this 0.8? So 0.8. So n equals 0.8. So 0.8 is equal to what? What percent is it? Multiply 100%. So that is equal to 80%. So when you find the percent, and if the number is a decimal, then write it in percent by multiplying the number by 100%, which is 80%. Make sense? So 80%, so this person answered 80% correctly because 96 out of 120 is, see here, 96 out of 120 is 80%. So it is important to write an equation, PBA equation, PB, percent times base equals amount. Just replace replace 2 out of 3 variables with their numbers, values. So you answered 80% of the questions correctly. 60 is 2.5% of what? So 2.5% of one number, one number. So in this case, percent of something means what? This is the percent, right? So this is the percent. And what is the base? This is the base. So 2.5% of this number, so multiply, right? So is means equal sign, and 60 should be the amount. Right? So this is related to, so we gotta use the basic percent equation. Use the basic percent equation, which is PBA, right? PBA. So just write the equation as it is. So 60 equals 2.5%. So 2.5% is, isn't it 0.025, right? 0.025. And then multiply by a number, which is n, right? N. Make sense? So 0. Okay, let me write it again. 2.5% is equal to 2.5. We have to change the percent into a decimal. So multiply this by 0.01. So 0.025, right? And then what should be the base, right? Base is, let's with unknown variable, make it unknown variable n. So this one is equal to divide each side by what? We want to find n, right? N. So divided by 0.25. 0.025. All right. Then this one should be equal to, okay, use a calculator, or in this case you cannot use calculator, right? So divide it on hand, and this one looks like 2,400 is equal to n. So the base is 2,400. So 60 is 2.5% of 2,400. Okay, so it's really simple. Write an equation, and that equation has only three variables. Amount equals percent times the base. Okay, so this of is replaced with what? Times. Okay, then what is 32% of 85? Still same thing. So what is the unknown variable, and is replaced with equal sign, and 32% is 0.32, and of means multiply, right? And this is the base. Okay, this is the base, right? Base. So let me write it. This is base, and this is the percent, right? Okay, so we can write it. Okay, and then this is the amount. Let me write it as amount. So the equation is n, so amount, which is n, right? N. So n is equal to amount. You can use a, doesn't matter, anything's fine. Unknown variable, and then 32% is 0.32 multiplied by the base 85. Okay, so 32% is equal to 32 times 0.01, right? So 0.32. Okay, so n equals, multiply these two numbers, then that becomes 27.2. So 27.2 is 32% of 85. Okay, so the textbook is explaining a different method, but you don't have to try that different method. Just write this sentence into an equation and then solve. That's faster. Okay, then let's try this. What percent off? Okay, let me write it. So now what percent of 52 is 13? So as you see this one, this is a PBA question, basic percent equation, because what percent? This is the percent, isn't it? Percent n, right? This is the percent. And of means multiply, and this is the base, right? Equals, and this is the amount, right? So there are three variables: percent, base, amount. And in this case, the values for base and amounts are given so that we can find the percent. So write it in our equation. So n times the base 52. So what percent of 52? So multiply is equal to 13. Then divide each side by 52. Then this is 4, and equals 4. 1/4. So 1/4 is equal to, isn't it 25%? right? 1 divided by 4 is 1 divided by 4 is equal to 0.25%. 0.25. So that is equal to 25%. Is it 4, right? 4. So 52% of 52, I'm sorry, 25%. 25% of 52 is 13. So this PBA question, basic percent question, is really simple. There are 3 variables. Write an equation using 3 variables. PB equals A. And then, of course, 2 values will be given always. Okay, from this pie chart, what percent of the deaths were due to traffic accidents? So these numbers indicate the number of deaths based on each category. So the traffic accident is 73, right? So 73, deaths due to traffic accidents out of all these numbers. So what percent? So what percent is the one that we are looking for? Let's use P, right? P. Of means multiply, right? And the death is the base. This is the base, which is the total. The number of total death, right? So were due to, or so were means is equal to due to the traffic death, traffic. So that is the amount. All right. So let's find the total number. So the number of total death is 6 plus 19 plus 58 plus 73. So these are the number of total deaths. So, the death by these various categories. And when you add these 4 numbers, then it comes up with 156. All right, and the amount is, this is the amount of traffic accidents, killed by traffic accidents. So there will be 73. Okay, so the what percent of 156 is equal to 73. So when you write this in an equation, so one number, okay, percent, what percent? The percent times the base, 156, is equal to the traffic accident, the number due to traffic accidents, that is 73. All right. Then the percent is equal to, divide each side by 156. So P is equal to 1 over 2, right? So 1 over 2 means we have to write this one in decimal, right? In decimal. So you can write it percent. So 1 over 2.5 is what? 50%, isn't it? Multiply this by 100%. Then the percent, what percent means? That is 50%. Wow. So, is it, oh sorry, this is not 1 over 2, right? This is not 146, this is 156. All right, so this is not, sorry, the denominator is not 146. So when you use a calculator, it comes up with approximately 46.8%. Okay. So this is equal to 0.468. So 0.468 is equal to 46.8. Because you are multiplying this by 100%. We want to convert decimal to percent. So 46.8% of the death were due to traffic accidents. So it's really simple. Write an equation. This equation is PBA, percent times base, equals amount. Okay, this is the last example. A department store has a blue blazer on sale. So this item is on sale for 114. So this is the sale price, isn't it? So which is 6%. So 114 is 60% of the original price. So we don't know what the original price, so let's make it, this is the base, isn't it? Base. This is the base, right? So 60%, so this is the percent. That is the percent. So off means multiply. So PBA, this is the amount, right? In this case, amount. And then this is the same as what? Same as the sale price, isn't it? Sale price. Okay. So what's the difference between the original price and the sale price? So in order to get the difference, we need to find the original price, which is the base. So let us write an equation based on this PBA. So 114 is equal. So this is the amount. This is the amount. So let's write it something like this. PBA. So percent times the base is equal to amount. So $114 is 60%. 60%, that is equal to 0.6, isn't it? 0.6. So 0.6 times the base, original price. So this is an equation. So find the B. So that is divide each side by 0.6. Then this is equal to, you divide by 6. So, okay, 1, and then 56, 190, 190. So the original price, so this is the original price, right? So this is the original price. Okay, so 114 is 60% off $190. This is original price. Okay, then what's the difference between the original price and the sale price? So we have to subtract, right? Difference means subtract. So we're gonna subtract 114 from 190. So 190 minus, okay, let me write it again. So what we're gonna do is we will do the original price. The original price minus the sale price. So this is the difference between the original and the sale price, right? So the original price is 190 and the sale price 114. So this is equal to $76. So the difference between the original price and the sale price is $76. So can you see how we handled this? Okay, so read it carefully, read it, and then write an equation. So so first of all, we used PBA, right? PBA. Because 114 is 60% of the original. So write it, 114 equals 60% times the original price, B. 60%, you have to convert the 60% into decimal, which is 0.6. And then find the original price. So once you find the original price, and then find the difference. Okay, that's it for this section. And then please try solving questions in the exercise.